ERC, quality service since 1972, repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
Brian Peters with you for this Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, June the 20th. The big day at City Stages. Let's get right to a Skycam, and it's going to be a hot one too. Here's the Skycam network. This is Birmingham, and we're looking down over the site of City Stages that'll be opening up this afternoon and into the evening hours. Coleman, we're looking at the water supply up there and a little bit of moisture in the ground, and that's causing our MOS guidance a little bit of problems. And then how about Livingston? And no, they're not going to need that tornado siren today because we're not going to see any thunderstorms that I can imagine seeing, and so it looks like it's going to be another beautiful but relatively hot day. On our surface map, you can see that there's a good deal of fog over much of the southeastern United States, and that's given the MOS guidance a little trouble because I think soil moisture is contributing to guidance being a little bit too high. I think the MOS guidance for today is like 97 or 98, and I think we'll be a couple of degrees below that. Yesterday was a pretty active day across the central United States, especially in the vicinity of Chicago. I talked to my daughter yesterday, and lots of storms up there, including some hail. She got some dime-sized hail at her place of employment. In the upper atmosphere, there's our heat ridge right there centered over the southeastern U.S., and that's going to keep us dry at least through the first of next week. It's also going to keep us relatively warm. Look at the area of 70s all the way from looks like southern New Jersey across Ohio and the Ohio River Valley over into Oklahoma and Texas, and all of that area in between across the southeastern U.S. Across central Alabama, we're generally in the lower and mid 70s, although I'm sure there are a couple spots probably getting into the upper 60s. The threat for severe weather remains across the mid-Atlantic states, parts of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Virginia, and a little bit of northeastern North Carolina, and then a small area out there in Kansas. And that risk area doesn't shift a great deal over the next day or so. And QPF pretty much tells the story. I think we could probably stop right here. It doesn't look like much rain over the next 5 days, and the tropics are quiet. So here's the 06Z GFS model run. And there's our ridge, and the ridge is built in pretty strong and about in the position where we thought it would. By tomorrow, Sunday, the ridge is still kind of oriented north-south along the Mississippi River Valley, and that's going to keep us high and dry while New England and the northeastern U.S. and the mid-Atlantic states stay pretty wet. And that trough certainly has developed as forecast, and this is Monday. We're still under that heat ridge. Fortunately, it's not any stronger than it is, and that should keep most of the precipitation anywhere near Alabama off to our east. By Tuesday, that ridge is beginning to migrate just a little bit to the west, a little retrogression there, and that may mean that we could see an isolated shower or two by midweek. And you can see that the ridge covers a large area of Texas, Oklahoma, and is still keeping its influence felt across Alabama. And now we begin to see a little more change here as we see some ripples coming down. And notice this northwesterly flow on Thursday, and that's something we've got to watch once again. And the GFS is hinting at the possibility that we might see some MCCs or MCSs, and you can see one there kind of where Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri all come together. And this is midday, so we'll have to watch for anything coming down in that northwesterly flow. And certainly on Friday, that looks like there's a possibility. Now, that's something a little hard to forecast this far in advance, but certainly something we need to keep in mind. That and by Friday, we're going to see at the surface, we're going to see conditions a little more unsettled, and that unsettled goes into next weekend, the 27th, and stays with us through much of the weekend. Plus, by Sunday, looks like the GFS is hinting at something in the Gulf. However, there's no definite surface low being forecast along with that. In voodoo country, that northwesterly flow stays with us, which means the heat should back off a little bit, highs bouncing around 90 degrees or so, which is not bad for this time of year. And also, we're going to stay just a little bit unsettled, and this is July 2nd, so it looks like a warm and possibly afternoon shower situation for the 4th of July. Certainly appreciate you tuning in. I expect to be back with the next Weather Extreme video tomorrow morning. Again, coming to you from the wonderful historic Tutwiler in downtown Birmingham. So in the meantime, I hope you have a great day on this Saturday, wherever your events take you, wherever things go for you. In the meantime, Godspeed.